Tell it. The game's getting down. Never, never gonna never know. Never, 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 never. Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Virtual Racers Club. Grab your dancing partner. It's time to salsa. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, here we are, round 9 of the Stcc Season 1, and we're here at South America, Brazil, Interlagos. I'll give you the postcode if I knew it, but that's as much as I know. So, this season, 9 rounds, wowzers, 9 of 10, we're coming to the end. We're in the end game now, children. So what is the Stcc? And it's not something you catch off Vera. Stcc is our take on the iconic super touring era of 90s BTCC, using selected Group 3 versions of family cars. Qualifying will set the grid for both races, with the sprint being a reverse of qualifying results. They qualified for 10 minutes. They're going to have a sprint race of 35 miles and then a feature race of 85 miles. They have to use 2 compounds throughout the round, the whole shebang, the 2 races, 2 compounds of race tyres. We've got a table. Matt Sykes is in the chat saying hola, and I'm saying hola back to you. So we've got, bloody hell, they've got round 9 table up already. Oh, it's tomorrow, I suppose. That isn't a big feat. Round 8. Is that it? Yeah, I'm looking at round 8. The round 8's table, which has got, Road Atlanta on it. So the table, the clash of the titans we have at the top with Matt Psycho and Hazas in the Peugeot. We've got Haza there on 292 points, with Matt Psycho in second on 276 points. But I don't know if they've dropped them yet. I doubt it with that high score. But Haza has to drop 104 points so far this season, where Matt Psycho only has to drop 88 points so far this season, which will put them very close together. I'm not doing the math. I'm doing the math. I'm doing the bloody math. Hang on. There's 16 points. 16 points. Oh, it's 16 points, and they are 16 points apart. So, shows you how close it is. Homesick Aliens in the chat saying good evening. Yeah, I don't know, my math might be wrong. The points might already be dropped. No, there's no missing columns. So, I believe, yes, I think them two are pretty much on the same score at the moment. It'll be down to wins, and I can do that for you as well. Why not? Let's drag this out. They've got a win each in round 1. Then Matt Psycho he's up to 2 wins. Then Haas is up to 3-2. Then it's 4-3. Then it's 4-4. Then it's 6-4 to Matt Psycho. 7-4 to Matt Psycho. 7-5. So if they do end up tied on points, I think Matt Psycho has the wins. So that is very interesting. It's tight at the top there, boys. So, but at the moment, let's just say Haza is at the top with 292 points. Matt Psycho is second in 276 points, but I think advantage and Matt Psycho at the moment. Homesick Alien third on 240 points, with Sharon fourth on 203 points. Ensign Newer is fifth on 162 points, with Kuikarp sixth on 148 points. The Bazza is 7th on 128 points, with Snorlax 8th on 123 points. So he could really disturb Bazza in the next few days. He's got less points to drop than Bazza as well. In 9th, we've got Mrs. Guesty on 96 points, with Pat in 10th on 88 points. points. He's got to drop less points than Mrs. Guesty as well, so that's a tight battle between those two Mitsubishi pilots. Scary Rambo is 11th on 88 points, same points as Pat, but he is dropping more than Pat at the end of the season. Madalinsky 12th with 77 points. Kimi Räikkönen is 13th on 38 points. Jokas is 14th on 37 points. Flashman 15th on 24 points. And 16th is Silverstar on 19 points. My dear God, please stay with the championship so I don't have to keep reading your name out week in, week out, even though you're not racing. I'm putting more effort in than you lot are at the bottom of the table because I'm actually reading your names out when you're not even showing up. So turn up. You sign up, you turn up. That's the rule. God damn it. Do you want to look at the grid? So they qualified for 10 minutes. I think we're all up to date, ain't we? That's enough, isn't it? I feel like I've been doing this already. I'm ready to wrap up. Oh, there's a race to do as well, isn't there? So, let's have a look at the grid. So remember, they qualify for 10 minutes here at Interlagos for the Super Touring Car Championship Round 9. And when it comes to the sprint race, it's a reverse grid. So we're going to look at it in reverse. Hey, that's a novelty. Why not? Let's try it out. So, on pole for the feature race, but starting at the back, is the lone Peugeot because there is no Haase. What happened to Haase? The fiery Finnish driver has not shown up. Has he looked at the table and thought, screw it? Who knows? But there is no Haase. So, only one Peugeot is competing today. So there's an extra podium slot opened up for any of these other bad boys. And look who's fast at the second on the grid for the feature race. It's the Snorlax. Yes, Snorlax. He's been promising. A lot of the season he's been driving absolutely supremely, but I believe the Lexus has been letting him down with some supreme tyre wear. So is this the one for the Snorlax? Second on the grid for the feature, third on the grid for the feature, and seventh in the sprint is Sharon. But as we're in South America, I think I may refer to him for the rest of this race as Sharino. Sharino. It works. I'm going with it. You forgot to put some stickers on the back of your car. Sharino. So then in sixth, we have the Alien over Home 6. He is the only one who has tasted the champagne from the top step other than the Peugeot drivers. And is there anyone out there that can add? Oh no, Sharen's taken a win as well. I apologise. Sharen's had a win as well. So, a very exclusive club down here of winners. Can Snorlax join them? So, yeah, that's Homesick. He's in a Hyundai. I should tell you what they're in. Then, fourth on the grid. And I've lost count now. Hang on, let me count. Fifth in the feature is... He needs no introduction, but it's Koikarp in a very nice-looking Mazda Rothmans Racing. And he's been showing some good races in the Group 3 cars. Next up, we have Ensign Hewitt, Big Dan, in fourth for the sprint. Oh, I've lost count now. Sixth or something for the feature. You count. I'll just talk them up. So Big Dan looking absolutely amazing in his Mazda. Then third, I think. Yeah, third. On the sprint, and what's that, seventh in the feature, is the Quaker State Mazda of the Bazinator, the Belgian Bullet, Barry Twins. It is the man, the myth, the legend, and he's in a great position here against those little Mitzies, but the Mitzies are good in the corners, and Interlagos has a bunch of those bad boys. The Harv's in the chat saying, evening thingy, and Harvey saying, this is the one where the pack had a nice quiet race without me. Ah, you gave him a rest, did you, from the halfster? And then on second place, or eighth, oh, hey, what's this? Girl Racer. Yeah. or grrr, is Mrs. Guesty in the monster Mitsubishi. And it is a fine-looking automobile. It's cracking stuff, really consistent from Mrs. Guesty this season, her only second championship with us, and I think she's done amazingly. It's hard to be a beginner, and she has slipped into it with such consistency that when the lap times fall, which they will, she's going to be a threat. She's going to be a danger, boys. Watch out. Your testicles are no good here. So here we go then. Pat is on pole for the sprint, 9th for the feature, mixing oil and water. That's the kind of guy Pat is. He likes to mix it with the danger. He's starting on pole. He's got the best view of that first corner. Shall we get on? Because I've been chatting a lot. Matt Psycho saying liveries look great on this grid. Yes, you've got to say we've got some great artistic people in our mix here, and they turn up with some delicious looking cars. I could just eat them all up. Okay, without further ado, push pineapple, drink a tree, to the left, to the right. Here we go then. We're watching Homesick for some reason. We should be watching Pat. Pat's on the mediums. We have got mixture of tyres. We will look that up as we go along. The green light's gone, and it's Pat pulling away from Mrs. Guesty, and he's done a fine job. Sharenino is looking for a move up the side of Koikarp, and I think he has got it. Pat's still landed that bad boy. He's in the lead against the Mitsubishi's. Looking good here, aren't they? Leaving the crowd behind. Basil, where's that? Where's that? Matt Psycho in the rocket launcher has propelled himself up into 4th place with Sharinino in 5th, Big Dan in 6th, Koikarp in 7th, Snorlax in 8th. That is a break-in nightmare just about to happen, but no, it does not. Snorlax does drop down a little bit, going wide in the big fat Lexus as Homicide Alien comes through and up and into 8th place. He's on the brakes again, my word. Oh no, Mrs. Guesty has dropped like a brick down into the lower quarters of the pack, and it's a no. Sharanino and the Psychomite Neister have taken each other to the realm of shadows. Let's see it. So he's up to 2nd. Sharen's looking feisty up the inside. He's got the Baz. He's pulled it out on the Baz. He's on soft tyres, remember. There's some of those around, and ooh, yeah, he left that one a little late there, boys, and Pat still leads this race against the Baz. He's on the mediums. Pat's on the mediums. Mrs. Guesty back up into 3rd. She's on the softs. Koikarp now in 4th on the mediums. Snorlax on the mediums up into 5th. Big Dan feisty fighting here from the Snorlax and the Big Dan. Chasing it out. Come on, hug it out, Beach. And Matt Psycho then up into 7th. Sharen, and the Alien is having an irregular race, and he's given the Sharen a little Sharanino a little clout. It's not the real Sharen, that's why we're having such strange driving. It's Sharino. So Pat then, come on Pat, he's on the way. And Matt Psycho saying Mrs. Guesty Rookie of the Year, surely he's got to be. But you got Silver Star and the Halfmeister in that mix as well. And Mama Psycho in the chat saying, hello Thingy, hope all good with you. Good racing, guys. Go for it, Matthew. Well, he's had a little collision with Sharino. Or Sharino had a little collision with him. Pat leading from the Baz, the medium tyres. Oh, Pat's gone a little wide there. It slows you down out there. So Pat doesn't want to do that too often against the Bazinator. Guesty then. Mrs. Guesty is there. The Mitsubishis, I did say at the beginning, they like the corners. They do like the turns. She does like to turn. So this is going well for Mitsubishi at the moment. Solid 3rd. Lap 2 of 14. And Koikarp there is a big blockage for Snorlax. Snorlax looks like he just wants to get through. He wants to break through, and Mrs. Guesty on a move on the Baz. Oh, Mrs. Guesty, and Pat's got it all wrong somewhere. Pat's slowing down, and the Baz is taking the lead. What am I doing? No, Pat's in the lead. Sorry, I'm missing good racing from being... I have to keep swapping from keyboard to bloody handset. Mrs. Guesty's doing it, but there's Koi. Koi from nowhere, swimming upstream. I thought that was meant to be salmon, but it's the Koi, and it looks like Baz's exit, stage left. But he's all right, he's still on the road. And Matt Psycho slowly but surely persevering, getting his way through the pack. So it's all changed. Not up front, it's still Pat. But we've got Snorlax and Koi Carp duking it out there for that second spot, and this race is alive with Mrs. Guesty keeping track of events ahead of her, waiting to pick up the tears where these race boys leave behind. And Matt Psycho, though, look at this, don't call it a comeback. It's just an ordinary drive for the Peugeot driver. Big Dan in 6th, and he qualified well. Oh, back end sliding out on him. The Mazda's being feisty. Matt Psycho on the mediums, so is Big Dan. Bazza's on the mediums. He's down with Homicide Alien at the moment, and Sharino, is fighting it hard. Koi Carp is in the lead. Koi Carp going for around the outside, and 2 Trailer Park Girls go around the outside, around the outside, around the outside. 2 Trailer Park Girls go around the outside, and so does Koi Carp. Wowzers. And Pat then into second place with Snorlax third, and it's a jukum as they all fight it out there. Mrs. Guesty still within touch of the boys ahead, and Snorlax trying to find a way through past the Mitzi, but the Mitzi clinging on for dear life. But there's a straight bit of road here, and this is where the Lexus can show what it's got, shall we say, into the toe of the pack. He wants to get by already. The toe's no good for him. He's being held up. He just needs to get alongside and get a good braking area. Look, they're 2x2 coming down the straight. There's Koi. Snorlax around the outside, but he's going to put him on the inside now. Snorlax misses the track. He's missed the track altogether, but he's not resetting. In all fairness, he tried to turn to the track, but Pat was all there and in his way. So I'm not going to fault Snorlax for that one, because he did make the attempt. But there was Pat, and I don't think he wanted to cause a collision, so he just stayed out of the way of it all. Wowzers! Is that braking, Matt Psycho? Jesus! Who did you use as a brake? Pat. So Matt Psycho trying out the Pat brake, and it didn't work that well for him. But Mrs. Guesty back up into third, Snorlax in second, Koi Carp in first place. God, you can tell it's 9 rounds, can't you? These boys are tired. The racing's getting a little too familiar. And Mrs. Guesty fresh as a daisy, and Matt Psycho there ahead of Pat. And this time Matt Psycho uses the conventional brakes, and somehow Bazza goes away. What happened to Baz? Did you want to have a look at that barrier? And Bazza there. The Mazda does look a bit thrifty on the back end. Koi Carp, though, meanwhile, in a Mazda, absolutely owning it. And Harvey in the chat saying, Pat brake, didn't know that was a thing. And Harvey saying, we'll try it next time. So Koi leads from Snorlax, and Mrs. Guesty sitting pretty for a podium. We're only on lap 4 of 14, and how much can happen in one race? How much action can they pack in one little race here at the Virtual Racers Club? Unbelievable stuff. Matt Psycho up into 4th, and Homicide Alien is now in 5th place, chasing down the Peugeot. Pat Brake is in 6th, and wowzers, Big Dan. I nearly would be worth another look, but I'm not going to, because we've got to get through this thing, you know. But Big Dan comes through that first and second corner sideways. Shireen got a great view of that, and Bazza is having a rest further back down the field, waiting for action to happen. And Shirino is really pushing on with a Big Dan right now, and Big Dan holding him at bay as a Pat hopes no one else gives him a big slam. Grand slam, Pat slam. Big Dan in the chat saying hi, thinking everybody can't believe it's the final round tomorrow. And Matt Psycho saying it was so congested, I had no idea where I was and braked a metre or two too late. I'm not judging you, man. I'm just having fun. School's out now. This is the end. This is the end of the championship. No Harvey, no Haza. So you know, you've got no pressure. Just have a bit of fun. It's been all pressure for you, Matt Psycho, this season. You and Haza locked in that battle, and now you're freed up, free as a free bird. You can have some fun. Mrs. Guesty might be losing the podium pretty soon as you see the Peugeot closing in. Lap 6 of 14. My word, this is fun. So Koi Carp leads in the Mazda, and we've seen the Mazda is tail happy today. It doesn't like the corners, and we've seen Bazza being bit and Big Dan, but at the moment Koi Carp has got all the grips of his faculties right now, and he is driving like the legend we know he is. And Matt Psycho saying, still behind on drop scores, I think. No, I thought I worked it out. You're ahead on race wins. I thought you're 16 points behind him, and he's got to drop 16 points. Oh, it might have changed now because of this race's results. But before this race, it looked like you were in the advantage. Snorlax then in second with Mrs. Guesty under threat from the Red Bull. Peugeot nearly thought about making a move up the inside of the Mitzi, and then remembered it's a Mitsubishi. They can get through these corners pretty quick. So it's wait for a straight. And that Peugeot can kick out of a corner, but you've got Homicide Alien right behind you now. I don't know why. I just like the sound of it. I say homesick all the time. I'm trying something different. Homicide Alien. It's nice. I like it. It's like an alien that's going to come and kill you. Homicidal alien. So, God, look at them all bunched up. Come on, cameraman. So Snorlax takes the corner from Koi. That's not my fault. The cameraman was miles away. Matt Psycho also takes the corner from Mrs. Guesty. Not my fault. The cameraman was miles away. And there is Homesick. He's just about to pick one up as well from the Mitsubishi. And Homesick Alien's got the fastest lap at the moment of this race as he looks around the outside of the Mitsubishi. He's on the racing soft tyres. I don't think it's made a jot of difference, hards or mediums or softs. So Snorlax on the outside, Koi Carp leaning in on him on the inside, and he's respectful. Looked like he had a lift there. Let the Snorlax go. Koi Carp then in second, but that's given Matt Psycho an opportunity to go up the inside, and he makes the pass stick. And there's now Koi can do about that one. And there we got Homicide Alien and Mrs. Guesty in the shout. Wow, look at it, lap 7, we're halfway through, and they are bunched up. Shiorino is in 6th with Pat 7th, fighting off Big Dan in the slippery and slidey Mazda. And the Baz also in one of those slippery, slidey Mazdas, like Spring Break. Snorlax then leads from Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho, we saw him getting past Koi Carp as well. Koi Carp clinging on to that final podium position, but he's got the Homicide Alien coming down, bearing down on him, it could be said. And Matt Psycho saying Interlagos is always mental. It is, it's one corner after another, isn't it? In it like, bruv. So Homesick Alien pushing on. Mrs. Guesty. The soft tyres starting to look a little torn up, and Shiren also on the soft tyres. He's looking ready to pounce. Patster is in 7th, with the Big Dan ready to leap, nearly, but not quite, because Pat, it's the same tyre wear. But the Mazda does seem to be later in this race looking a little more settled around the rear end. She was looking rather feisty, and now, as the tyres are warming into the race, and there he goes for a move up the inside. It's delicious. You could lick the fork after that one. Bang, tidy, lick the bowl. She's beautiful. So Big Dan gets the move done, and he's gone wide. The back end's being loosey-goosey again, but he holds on against Pat Chat, and the Pat brake on the move, but he can't get anything done about that feisty Mazda ahead of him. And I know Big Dan likes a loose rear end, but this one's a little bit too much. Snorlax still leads with Matt Psycho in 2nd, and Koi Carp holding on to that 3rd place from the Homicidal Alien. But we're watching Big Dan battling it out with Pat. Pat going a bit wide there, and it looks like the Mazdas are coming to life near the end of this race. And Snorlax then fighting off the Peugeot. Can he maintain? I did say at the beginning there's an exclusive winners club in this championship, and there's only 3 people in it. And can Snorlax make it 4? It's not looking likely the way this Peugeot's going. My word, Matt Psycho is on a tear. And Snorlax doing some lovely defensive driving there. Oh, it's going to be like a ballet of racing here. It's going to be delicious. Oh, but the Peugeot might be just a little too overpowered. But again, Snorlax putting the Peugeot on the wrong side of the road. And Snorlax just knowing where to place his car. And he doesn't leave the door open again. Beautiful placement from Snorlax. Again, closing that door before Matt Psycho can get a moment to leap up and get in there. And he's pulled out a lovely bit of space out of that corner. I thought the Peugeot had great drive out of the corners, but it looks like the Lexus is planted as it gets on that accelerator. The back end not even looking slightly slippy in the Lexus, but here we go then. Up and over the corner, and it's up the hill. A little slide there from Snorlax. That's going to give all the way down the straight here an advantage to Matt Psycho. And Snorlax is going to be like driving along the wall on the left here to try and protect this one, because look at the drive the Peugeot's got with the toe and the better drive, and it's done and dusted way before we get to the corners, side by side, and Snorlax still holds on. Beautiful stuff. I'm sorry about the angles. I could have got out of the car a bit better. But now again the Peugeot on the attack, side by side, and Homicidal Alien has got past and up to 3rd. Matt Psycho's got his nose in front, but Snorlax is on the inside. It's a battle going in, and oh, Snorlax gets through. The tenaciousness of just holding his line on the inside, and I think Matt Psycho knew he had to concede, or they were both sliding off the road. And so Snorlax leads lap 10 of 14, and Homicidal Alien is right on their tail, and he is fancying a piece of this action. And that's what Snorlax could do with, really, a little bit of Hyundai help. And Mama Sai saying she likes it. Yes, of course you do, it's beautiful. And Snorlax, meanwhile, fending off the threat of the Peugeot, but now the Peugeot's got company, and it's a blue and white. It's Draper Tools, and it's a Hyundai. But wait, the tyres on that Hyundai not looking too hot. So Homesick Alien, can those soft tyres see him for another 4 laps? It's a tough call, but if anyone can do it, the Alien can. Snorlax then meanwhile defending to the inside. Matt Psycho getting the drive around the outside, and Matt Psycho, car placement, has got it on the inside now. No, doesn't quite hold it, but you can see where he was going. You could see what he was trying, but Snorlax just kept his foot in there, and somehow, some way, and now Matt Psycho is in threat of the Hyundai, and it's either kill or be killed out there at the moment for Matt Psycho. He's got to either get past Snorlax, or he's going to have the Homicidal Alien all up and in his business, and that's it. Homesick Alien up and into second. Wowzers, wowzers, wowzers. Snorlax, the spearhead of this fighting triangle. And again, Matt Psycho back up into second. Homesick Alien all up and in his business. Koikarp in fourth. He's going to be catching him again soon. Snorlax cannot rest. He cannot take a break. It's not over. It's nowhere near over until he sees that big flappy bit of fabric with black and white on it. He's got to keep continuing on. He's got to push every corner, every apex, because Matt Psycho will not yield for one moment. Homesick Alien is back into the clutches of Koikarp. Koikarp, his medium tyres aren't looking any better than Homesick Alien's soft tyres, so they're oh dear, has the internet stopped? That's not good. Hopefully we're still working. Yes, must have just been the iPad, the Wi-Fi. I think that's because the internet yielding in here is crazy. So Snorlax is leading from Matt Psycho. Homesick Alien in third spot. We've got Koikarp in fourth fighting him, but there we got the Shrino in fifth with Mrs. Guesty under threat from Biggeth Daneth. and her tyres are nearly shot. Pat is in 8th place ahead of Baz. Did we not see the Baz get by? They were getting close. Snorlax meanwhile leads. No, Matt Psycho goes for the move up the inside, and Snorlax, for the one time only in the race, he left the door open, and Matt Psycho trotted in, but Snorlax comes back at him. And it's swapping corner for corner here, but Matt Psycho's on the inside, and there's a little car rubbing. Oh, a lot of car rubbing there, and oh my gosh, Snorlax has just dropped behind Matt Psycho, and Homesick Alien is trying to take the lead here, and Homesick Alien then in 2nd, Snorlax in 3rd, Koikap in 4th, and Matt Psycho leading the race here. I don't know. I didn't see how close. There was rubbing, but rubbing is racing. I don't know how far the rubbing went, but even if he wished to redress, he'd have to give up a spot to the Alien. So it's if there is anything to be looked at, he's going to have to just deal with it. Homesick Alien on the fight, on the charge, but the tyres say no. And there go the tyres. Goodbye. So Matt Psycho now leads. Whoa, Matt Psycho's back end was getting the loosey-goosey as well. Snorlax could still be in with a shout here, although the Peugeot tyres in a lot tidier state than Snorlax. Koikap in 3rd, but he's got Shirino all here and there, and going to be over there in a minute, because Koikap went a bit wide. But Shirino all up and around the outside on some very used soft tyres. No, he has no grip, and he can't pull that move off. That's a lap 3 move, not a lap 13 move. And Koikap meanwhile saving him off. Snorlax then on the hunt, but Matt Psycho now in the rhythm. And as Gloria Esteban has always taught us, the rhythm is going to get you. And Matt Psycho meanwhile running away with this bad boy, with Snorlax in 2nd and Koikap looking solid for a 3rd as they head towards the final lap. Shiren in 4th, Homesick Alien recovering in 5th, but bigger Danath on his nice medium tyres. He said, I've still got some white left. What about you? Not much for the homicidal Alien, and bigger Danath is going to hit him hard in the next and final lap. Mrs. Guesty in 7th. The Bazinator is ahead of the Pats, but the Pats isn't that far behind, so don't count him out. Matt Psycho starts the final lap, and I just don't think Snorlax has the tyres on that Lexus to take the fight to the Peugeot. Whilst Koikap losing grip, and Shirino is alongside him. I thought Shirino was going to easily go by there. The Beamer, he must have really lifted off then. And now Shirino does get the podium position away from the Mazda, but the Mazda is struggling on its front right tyre at the moment. Really shot that one away. And the soft tyre, an old set of soft tyres, still is better than an old set of mediums, although it hasn't been that much of a difference here, as we've seen in other races. Homesick Alien in 5th place ahead of Big Dan. And he must be nearly there, isn't he? No, he's miles away. What am I getting carried away at? Where is he? It's only in the hairpins. So where was I up to? Big Dan in 6th with Mrs. Guesty in 7th. Looks pretty safe there. Baz is nowhere near. So Mrs. Guesty got that one rounded off. And Pat in 9th, chasing down Big Bad Baz. And there's still a chance. Matt Psycho then brings it up the hill to take a great win from last to 1st, then back to 2nd, then back to 3rd, then back to 1st, and he takes the win in the end. Great drive, great race, beautiful stuff. Snorlax gets 2nd place, well deserved. Shirino, take a boo, my son, and Koikap gets 4th with the podium for Shirino. Homicidal Alien comes home in 5th with Bigger Danath in 6th. Mrs. Guesty gets the tyres absolutely done, and in 7th. Great stuff. With the Bazinator in 8th, and Pat bringing it home not far behind for 9th place. Sweet stuff. And Matt Psycho saying it's back. Oh, did it stop for everyone then? Strange, it must be said. So Matt Psycho, a glorious win in the Peugeot there. He had to fight for it, though. My word, did he have to fight for it. And he had an adventure getting there. Great racing, guys. Well done, Matthew. From Mama Sykes. Snorlax coming home in second. Great result for Snorlax. I'm sure he wished he'd had the win, but the tyres, I just don't think he had the tyres to go against the Peugeot there in the final couple of laps. It was going to be always a tough battle. Chirino coming into it in the end, taking Matt Psycho out in the early part of the race. And where is he? What am I looking at? I'm not even looking at him. There he is. So Chirino having a quiet race, but then blooming at the end there, blossoming into a beautiful podium position for the Russian sensation. Koikarp, he had a race, didn't he? Looking great in the lead for a while there. Where is he? That's Homesick and bloody Big Dan. What's going on with these people? So there he is. So yeah, Koikarp, cracking race, led for a good while there and led well. But the tyres, again, it's the same old story, isn't it? Those blooming bits of rubber ruin everyone's lives. Homesick Alien gets himself 5th place. Looked like a podium was on the cards. But again, tyres. Biggeth Daneth, he was not really doing anything. And then he's managed to get a position off of Mrs. Guesty there near the end. So he's got to be happy with that, surely. Looks like the Mazdas was a handful today. 7th for Mrs. Guesty, and she was holding her own up at the top there in the top 4 for a long old while there. But I think near the end of the race, the tyres got her. And Baz again, the Mazda seemed like a huge handful at the beginning of this race. Cold tyres means Lucy back end. And I think Bazza likes a nice stable car underneath him. And the Pat, he led for a good while at the beginning, and he led well. And just at the end there, the tyres. But once you get stuck in the pack, you end up like a ping pong ball, and it's struggle to fight back up to the top again. So Pat, fair race, good race, I take it. Right, we've got another race to go. Sorry, what am I doing? Getting carried away with myself. Reet. Let's have a look if we can go and find it quite quickly. Or if we've got to go hunting. There we go. Don't look at the cheats. It's not up yet, but don't look at the results. That would be a shame. That was quick. That jumped from 85 up to 100. And then it sat there on 100 for ages. Well, don't try and trick me with your pretend. Don't look at the results. Don't trick me with your pretend egg timer. Right, hang on. I'm not rushing. That's Chirino. I can hear me. I am so annoying. Sorry, guys. You have to watch this. I don't have to watch it. I just talk my way through it. But God almighty, that is grating in anyone's book. Right then. So, Matt Psycho, I believe, was on softs in the first. No, he might have been on mediums. I can't remember. But Matt Psycho's starting on mediums. Snorlax is on the softs. He might have been on the mediums in the first race. I think it was only like Shiren. I don't know. I can't remember. Chirino, he's on the mediums. Homesick Aliens on the mediums. Koikarp's on the mediums. Biggeth Daneth's on the softs. Bazza's on the softs. Mrs. Guesty's on the softs, and Pat's on the softs. Snore was too. What? On mediums? We'll work it out. So Matt Psycho on pole for this feature race. 32 laps of the Lagos. And he pulls away absolutely deliciously, yes. So Matt Psycho slams it into the first corner by a country mile. Snorlax having to defend off from Shiren. Shiren looking feisty with her homicidal alien coming around the outside of him in the Hyundai. Looking very tasty up and into third, but there's a battle for it as well because Koikarp's in the mix. Koikarp having to avoid Shiren then under braking. And Mrs. Guesty going, both Mitzies going for a wider line in that corner there, turn 3, I think it is. Everyone survives, and they're through. Mad Psycho and Snorlax again picking up where they left off in the sprint race. But Snorlax on the soft tyres versus the medium tyres with Mad Psycho. This is going to be a juicy. And Snorlax remembers how much car rubbing was in the feature race. He knows how much he's allowed to rub up against the Psycho as he comes by, which inevitably he's going to with soft tyres. I mean, it's not going to be a big surprise if we see the Lexus come flying by the Peugeot. But remember, in the sprint race, it wasn't showing up that much because it's easy to defend your corners. And the soft tyres is not giving as big an advantage as they have done in past tracks. But Snorlax then doesn't have the speed down the straight to get Matt Psycho into the first corner. Come on, cameraman, wake up. There we go. And Matt Psycho then holds it together. But then we've got another straight. And Snorlax is on his case now. Tyres warmed up. And Snorlax is ready to snore and lax at the same time, but it's a far way back to try and pull that one off, and he doesn't. He bangs on them brakes, and the Peugeot lives another day here at Interlagos. Koikarp then in third. Where's the homicidal aliens disappeared? Bazza's in fourth. Big Dan is in fifth. Sharen's dropped down as well. Do we think homicide alien and Sharen have had a little ding dong ding dong dong ding ding dang ding 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 dang ding dang doodly? I'm not rewinding it. We've got it's late already, and we cannot waste time. We're on lap 2 of 32. We've got another 30 of them to go. So Mrs. Guesty then on the soft tyres ahead of Pat, who is ahead of Homesick Alien. Is he pitted or something? He's quite a way off, isn't he? Matt Psycho having to deal with a lot of Snorlax right now. These two getting very well acquainted around the Brazilian track. When I was sipping my coffee, that's how intense the first race was. I didn't have any of my brew. Foot down, Matt, says Mama Psycho. Oh yeah, I kicked it. Lovely. So Matt Psycho holding his own. He's on the mediums, remember, against the soft tyres of Snorlax. And the Snorlax is showing red, so his tyres are in the zone now. They are warm, or they have warmed, and he is now ready to go on the attack. Koikarp, meanwhile, it's the battle of the Mazdas here. Big Dan, Koikarp and Bazza all in a train. But Big Dan a little bit further back. He needs the Baz and Koi to slow each other down a little to get him into that one. But yeah, we've got a bit of a battle of the Mazdas for the remaining podium position. Shirino is on his way, 6th place ahead of Mrs. Guesty. But Mrs. Guesty is keeping Shirino very honest. Pat then in 8th ahead of the homicidal alien. Matt Psycho still leads this race, with Snorlax right on his case. Has anyone seen Haza? Where is he? So Snorlax then up the hill again, too far back to get a tow. Well, he's getting a tow, but he's not going to have enough straight to get ahead. Up to 6th gear. He seems to be changing quite early. Maybe he's fuel saving and he doesn't want to get past the Peugeot. Maybe he's happy to sit behind the bug and just save a bit of fuel, just make the pit stops for the tyres, and try and keep fueling into a minimum. I didn't really pay attention to their fuel tanks in the sprint race to see. I mean, it's a lot of corners here. You can conserve fuel quite well just cruising, and if you find yourself in the tow of a rather fast car, so it's not going to cost you anything, you are quids in, dollars in if you're in America, euros in if you're in Europe. So Snorlax then Unsure what the game is he's playing. Oh, he looks like he's going for a move. Maybe he is racing. He's going around the outside. And this, he's decided, is the moment. No, not enough room. Hoo-hoo. That one was tight. He would have needed a can opener to get in that gap. And Matt Psycho playing the defensive game. And he knows Snorlax knows this is exactly what Matt Psycho had to deal with in the sprint race. And Snorlax playing the game, baby. Bazza is up into third. He's got past Koikarp. And the Mazda train carries on, continues on with Shirino chasing them down in sixth, Mrs. Guesty in seventh, Pat in eighth, and the homicidal alien is catching up with Pat. But Matt Psycho is the man in the lead. This is the battle at the moment, although Bazza did get past Koi. And it looks like, ooh, Big Daneth carrying the fastest lap of the race so far. Those Mazdas can shift. Tokyo shift. So the Mazda train, I think they're all rather close in points in the table as well. Snorlax going for the outside there. And Matt Psycho staying course and not giving Snorlax the breathing room he would like there. I think he gave him a little tap. Say, oi, get on your side. Around the outside again, Snorlax, you're killing your tyres, man. Don't try so hard. Just sit behind him. Save fuel. You don't want to burn those tyres out. Trying too hard. Well, I suppose it is killing your race if you could go faster. And you've seen Big Dan do a 32 and you're in the 33s doing Matt Psycho's pace. It's not the most helpful, I guess. You would like to use those soft tyres, I understand. So, yeah, I get... Whoa, big wiggle on from the Peugeot there. And that's all Snorlax needed to get the invite, a huge invite. It was like when you see them birds on the natural programs. They do this little dance with their tail to let the other birds know their time to mate. And that is the equivalent of racing with, Matt Psycho going for a move around the outside. You know that can place you very good for the next part of the corner. But no, Matt Psycho getting out of that one. And now Snorlax in the lead. With the racing soft tyres, is he going to pull out a gap? Now the game becomes tactical. Bazza has got the fastest lap so far and he's catching up the leaders. So what's the Mazda's game, eh? What are the Mazdas playing at? Koikarp in fourth with Big Dan chasing them down. Ooh, I think Koikarp got it a bit wrong in that corner. And Big Daneth has caught him up rather swiftly. And he's going up the inside. And the Mazdas giving plenty of space there to each other. Is there a team game going on? Koikarp then slipping down into fifth. Big Dan's back end now playing silly buggers. But he scoops it up and keeps it in line. Shirino, he's a little further back from the Mazda battle. And his worry is more about Mrs. Guesty, who is absolutely kicking it behind him. She's, can I kick it? Yes, you can. Can I kick it? Yes, you can. Pat then in eighth, keeping an eye on the homicidal alien, whom is doing a rather very good lap times now on his medium tyres and coming back into this race. Remember, tyre conservation is the alien's game. So even from that far back in the pack, he is still a threat. And right now he's a threat to Pat. Getting a good drive in the Hyundai. And he's just picking what side he wants to go on. And Pat's left a massive hole on the inside. I don't think Pat knew. Well, come on, cameraman. Jesus. Yeah, I don't know I think Pat didn't know which way to defend, so he stayed in the middle. And that gave home say, always defend the inside, Pat. It's harder to go around the outside than it is the inside, so always defend that inside line in future reference. Because it's just, made it too easy for the alien. Should have made him go around the outside. He's got the tyres to do it. He probably would have done you anyway. Oh, he hasn't. He's on medium, sorry. Pat's on the softs, but he's wearing through them pretty quick. So is Snorlax. So Matt Psycho will be able to pull this one back. And Snorlax has got to be very, very wary of how his tyres are wearing. Lap 7 of 32. The Bazinator in third, doing an absolutely cracking job, it has to be said. And the Mazda's not using the tyres up as much as the Mitsubisis and the Lexus. Big Dan we saw ahead of Koikarp, and Koikarp on the mediums. Maybe that's a big tell there. In the mediums, Koi did amazing to stay with the Mazdas then. Tyres aren't really... Come on, cameraman. Friggin' hell, is he on a doobie? What are you doing? I tell you, these Brazilians, they just think life's a lot easier. They're just laid back, aren't they? They just don't do anything. Big metal square thing with 4 rubber tyres. Point the camera at it. Don't let it move. Don't let it move off the camera. Keep the camera on the car. So, Sherino is in 6th with Mrs. Guesty. Lovely 34s from Mrs. Guesty, but Sherino has picked it up into the 33s now as his car gets lighter. Homicidal Alien not too far behind Mrs. Guesty, and he's knocked it into the 32s. So Mrs. Guesty, beware. Danger, danger. Stranger danger. Well, her and Homesick don't come across each other that often in races, for one reason or another. So she'll be probably thinking, what's this strange blue car? I didn't see one of these before. Pat then, oh, what's he going to do? The tyre woes are real in that Mitsubishi. Might be good in the corners, but he has to use a set of tyres to do it. And Snorlax, I think, is he slowing down a bit? Because it looks like Matt Psycho's drawn a bit closer to him. We'll see when he crosses the line. Those tyres are way over half done. They're baked, man. 33.0, it is slower, half a second slower than he has been doing. And Matt Psycho now into the 32s. Is this the time that Snorlax should make a pit stop? On lap 9, it's maybe a little too early. Probably wants the fuel to go a little further than that, so he can put more fuel in to go to the end of the race. I imagine he'd like to go about halfway, but I mean, we saw that even the cars were using up the medium tyres within 14 laps in the sprint race. So even going to mediums at this point means another pit stop before the end of the race, you would think. So this one is going to be another tactical one. And Bazinator, he don't care. He's just ripping through the fuel. Just go for it. That's what I do, Baz. Sod tactics. I just go for it. I usually finish at the back anyway, so what does it matter? Why rack my brain for more than 2 minutes thinking of a strategy when I'm probably going to spin on the second lap and lose all of the strategy time anyway? So I may as well just have fun, go for it, rip the tyres apart, use the fuel, make some more pit stops. Snorlax leads then, but his car is slowing. The tyres are starting to hurt. Is he into the pit lane? He is into the pit lane. There you go. That's my way of doing it. Go on, Snorlax. Just burn through the rubber like it isn't costing you a penny. Bazza stays out into second. Big Dan stays out on old rubber into third. Has Snorlax made a mistake, or has he made a genius move? We can only wait and see. It's definitely going to be a two-stopper because I don't think there'll be enough fuel. It might be, though. I don't know. So Koikarp, Shiren into 5th, Homicidal Alien in 6th, but he's just got past Mrs. Guesty, I believe, who's been doing an absolutely super consistent job out there and looked after her tyres a lot better than some of the other soft runners around her. So Homesick Alien then in 6th, chasing down Sherino, but Sherino's gone. He's gone bye-bye. He's chasing down the Mazda train. Biggest Daneth, those tyres aren't getting any fresher, and nor are Bazza's. Matt Psycho, he's out now. He's just going to tootle around for the next 20 laps. Come in. No, he'll want fastest lap when he'll come in for that. But yeah, it looks like Matt Psycho very comfortable on those medium tyres. No sign of a pit stop. Snorlax back out onto the track, quite a way behind Mrs. Guesty and Homicidal Alien, really. He's onto another set of soft tyres. That's another, what, 9 laps? He's going to have a lot of pit stops. He just wants to have fun. Snorlaxes just want to have fun. Ooh, Snorlaxes just want to have fun. Well, you just want to go fast, don't you? Right, pit stops galore here. Bazza, Koi stays out, but he's on the mediums. Sharen stays out. He's on the mediums as well. So, yeah, the Baz and the Dan stop. And Homicidal Alien up another couple of positions. Look at him go. And Mrs. Guesty staying out there, but she's looked after those soft tyres better than the boys. They obviously rub it too hard. Snorlax then, he's going to gain those two positions, surely. By surely, Jove. They're not even at their boxes yet, are they? Oh, yeah, they're on their way out now. But Snorlax should get around before they come out of the pits. Well, I'd be surprised if he doesn't. My word, they have beat him out. Wow, what happened to Snorlax's pit? He filled right up. They've not fueled up. They've not fueled up. They've gone onto the softs, not fueled. Snorlax did fuel, and he's getting himself past Bigger Thanath now. So he put in more fuel. You can see why they haven't fueled, but that just saves Snorlax later in the pit stops. That he won't have to wait around for fuel like Bigger Thanath and the Bazinator. Interesting tactics, you see, tactics. So the Baz in 6th, nearly losing. We remember those Magsters are a little bit slow at warming their tyres up, and they're very skittish on cold tyres. And the Baz, I mean, Big Dan, sliding the back end around all of the corners. Baz has just gone the fastest lap. Oh, no, he didn't. He did that on lap 5. But Bazza is still holding that fastest lap in the race so far. Car 74 absolutely owning it. Matt Psycho leading from Koi, but Koi's in trouble from Shirino. Shirino absolutely popping it in, and the Mazda using those medium tyres up quite liberally. Half a tank of fuel for the Koi, and Shirino is going to... Oh, he's having a look the other side. He's getting a tow. Koi being very defensive, he's moving out, but Shirino's up there, and it's a tough one, no, and Koi solid, keeps the corner. And Shirino has to wait for another opportunity to present itself, but Shirino's tyres are absolutely brand new. Where Koi Carp has lent on his rubber quite a lot and often in this race. And now Shirino, having another look. Beautiful battling here we're seeing from Koi and Shirino. On boards with the Russian sensation. And surely, wow, Koi's on the medium tyres. I can't imagine he'd want to come in and pit this early on those mediums. I'm thinking he's going to try and, one stop it, possibly. He's there. Shirino, there's no room there. He's gone for this side. This is going to be a tough move to ask. I'm staying in car because the cameraman is absolutely pants. And Shirino off the track, and that gives Koi Carp the opportunity to stay where he needs to be in second place. Tough battling from these pilots. Great stuff. Homicidal Alien in 4th with Mrs. Guesty in 5th, closing back in on the Alien mind. Homicidal Alien doing a couple of 34s there. I don't know if he's trying to hang out the fuel or the tyres, but Mrs. Guesty starting to pull the Alien back in. The Bazinator, after his pit stop, 6th place. Snorlax, we saw struggling to get past Big Dan, but did get past Big Dan, and now he's aiming at the Baz. The Baz popping out wide there and giving Snorlax a little run on him up this hill. It's tough to get a move done. The corner is rather fast, so it's hard to get that move done. There's not much braking going up that hill. And then we're into the hairpins, and you really need the person in front of you to mess it up for you to get an opportunity to break in there. You don't want to try and late break into the hairpins, for sure. And Snorlax is going to do just that, but no. Get sensible, but Baz is heavy on the accelerator coming out the corner, and Snorlax nearly had half a look. And it looks like the sun is setting here at Interlagos on lap 13 of 32. And Snorlax then is being caught by Biggest Daneth. The Mazda is backing the Lexus into the other Mazda. So Snorlax really does have to get the move done, or he's going to end up having to fight on both ends, front and rear. And there you go. What a beautiful move. He got the job done, but no. Outbraked himself and the Bazza came back at him. Oh, beautiful though. And Biggest Daneth is right there for all to see. Matt Psycho leads. He's not pitted yet. Koikarp in second, also not pitted. And Shirino is in third spot. We're watching the battle down in 6th, 7th and 8th with Bazza, Snorlax and Big Dan. Snorlax was in the lead of the race, or virtually in the lead. He was in second and the lead. He's done both. But he was up there, made his pit stop, and now he's fighting with Big Dan and the Baz that was sitting in about 4th and 5th. But Snorlax did put fuel in his car, which made his pit stop a bit slower than the two around him. And now he's going for a move on the Baz now. And the Baz out. Whoa! And the Mazdas press self-destruct and take each other into nowhere, because they carry on. It's all good. It's all good in the hoods. Right, Koikarp in. Koikarp is in. Shirino stays out. He's going around. And the homicidal alien then is up and into third place as well. No pit stops going on there. Matt Psycho only halfway through his tyres, only halfway through his fuel. We're coming up to halfway. I don't think there's much reason to need to fuel up here. Maybe a little splash and dash, if anything. So Snorlax, oh yeah, easily enough fuel to get to the end of this race. But those tyres, possibly not. Although if it's getting darker, the track will get cooler, and their tyres will last longer. It's math. Science and math all in one. Koikarp then back out on track. He was in that Mazda battle, remember. He's put a set of softs on. And Big Dan and the Baz already away. Already miles away from Koi. He's lost a lot of time staying out on the medium tyres there. He's lost a hell of a lot of time. Big Dan and the Baz continue on to fight. And we saw Baz getting into it with Snorlax. I think he lost it himself. I don't think Snorlax had much to do with it. And then Big Dan got by. Well, clumped him and then got by. And Snorlax then racing for the win. But I don't know. We've seen that staying out hasn't helped. But Matt Psycho's doing 33s, which is a pretty dynamic pace. Sharen now, 33s. He did 36 last time around while he's trying to get through traffic. 35 that time as well. Homicidal Alien, 34. But he's really using his tyres up. Mrs. Guesty coming in to the pits from 4th. That gives Snorlax a position. And, Big Dan and Bazza. I thought she might be close to the battle with those. But they're already through. It looks like it's more like Koikarp she may be battling, if she can get back out. And the Koi comes, but Koi's on soft tyres, and I think Mrs. Guesty may have to put mediums on. I can't remember what she used in the first race, but I think she used softs. So if she's going to the end, she may have to don a set of medium tyres, and Mrs. Guesty out of the pits on medium tyres. But Koikarp has shot the bolt, and he has gone. He's on the soft tyres though. Those soft tyres probably won't last him till the end of the race. And Mrs. Guesty, all she has to do is wait Koikarp out, I think. Just keep them nice, consistent lap times going in. And hope that the Mazdas all destroy their tyres and pit. She could still get 5th place in this race. It all depends on how well these Mazdas look after the tyres. The sun's getting long now. You can tell it's getting very shadowy. So the track will be cooling, so the racing soft tyres will stay in there a little bit longer. So Matt Psycho, meanwhile, still no sign of a pit stop, and why should he? He's doing pretty good lap times. Car's getting lighter. Sharen's made the pit stop. Homicidal Alien has not. So Shirino into the pits. Tyres weren't even that worn. He just thinks I can do the rest of this race on soft tyres, and who's to deny that? Snorlax then moving up and into third place. How far behind Matt Psycho is he? I tell you what, I think Snorlax is going to have to pit again. But if he didn't have to pit again, he's going to be pretty close to Matt Psycho when Matt Psycho pits. He's doing 32s at the moment. Matt Psycho's doing 34s, 2 seconds a lap faster. Bazza and Big Dan passed Shirino, as Shirino then comes out of the pit lane, and he can see the Mazdas tootling on. Mrs. Guesty after her pit stop, medium tyres. Not quite. Pat's not that far behind, but Pat he hasn't made a second stop, has he? He's already made a stop, and his tyres are starting to get pretty darned old already. Mrs. Guesty didn't quite get the Shirino from that pit stop, but Shirino on soft tyres. It's a gamble. I hope they go all the way. It's a lap longer than the sprint race, 15 laps that remain in. Koikarp as well, we saw his mediums were dead after 14 laps. So the Baz already getting through his softs, and he's all up and in Big Daneth's business. Got Snorlax just ahead of these guys. Big Dan going, Big Baz, going for a move alongside Big Dan. And there you go, Bazza making it look easy. Making it look easy peasy, lemon squeezy in the Mazda. Getting past Ensign Hewitt. Big Dan, I'm sure Big Dan made a mistake out of that final corner and lost the speed up the hill, which gave Bazza the run on him. Snorlax, meanwhile, pumping in those lap times. He's got purples. Homesick Alien. He's getting old on those tyres now, so he may have to think about a pit stop pretty soon. And Matt Psycho's tyres have seen better days, so he may be considering a pit stop pretty soon. The Mazda boys, I do think they're going to have to make another stop. Not for fuel so much, but for tyres. Maybe those softs will last. We've still got a shed load of lap times to do. So Koi on a fresh set of softs, and Shirino not too far behind him on a fresh set of softs. Matt Psycho, the leader, is into the pits. Homicidal Alien, I imagine he's going to pit as well as he comes up the hill. Is he going to chuck it in? Maybe. He does. He enters the pit lane. So all eyes are on Snorlax. He's coming up the hill. He's coming along the straight. And Matt Psycho is just at his pit blocks now as Snorlax comes through. But Snorlax, those tyres aren't going to get him all the way to the end of this race, whereas I don't believe Matt Psycho will be making another stop. 13 laps on a set of softs is rather reasonable. And Snorlax, although he may be ahead, he's got another pit stop, unless he's going to try and get those tyres. Those tyres aren't going 13 laps, buddy. I'm telling you now, you're living in a fantasy. So Bazza and Big Dan get ahead of Matt Psycho, but we are assuming they're going to pit again. It's the 2 stops versus the 1 stops. And Matt Psycho onto a set of softs. Koikarp up and into 5th, with Shiren up into 6th, and Homicidal Alien back out ahead of Mrs. Guesty. Still Mrs. Guesty. Oh, Mrs. Guesty's had a moment because her rear bumper is flashing and Pat is looming large in her mirror. Oh, Pat's got damage at the front. I wonder if they met each other. I wonder if they had a rendezvous. I'm trying to think of the Basement Jack song now. I can't remember. Sod it. I'm reaching, boys. I'm reaching. Snorlax leads this race, but his tyres aren't getting any better as he makes his way around. Bigger Daneth in second. Pat's already done Baz, and now he's looking at a Big Dan on their super fresh set of soft tyres for Matt Psycho. He wants to make up ground. He wants to score maximo points whilst Haza is away, because I'm sure Haza will be back for the final, because it's the showdown. I don't even know where we're racing tomorrow. is Brands Hatch. Oh my God, that's another tight track. They're going to struggle. They're going to struggle, man. They're going to struggle in these Group 3s around Brands Hatch. So, Pat, Big Dan, Matt Psycho's done it. I don't know if I noticed or not, or said anything when he did it, or if I was busy looking at what race was next. But Matt Psycho now up into second, chasing down the Snorlax. But Snorlax, I'm definitely sure he's got to make another pit stop. Where Matt is going all the way to the end. Big Dan in third with the Baz in fourth. Koikap sitting fifth with the fastest lap of the race. Didn't he slam a fastest lap of the race in at the sprint race? Interlagos is his track of choice. So Koikap at the moment driving like El Diablo is his passenger. He's El Diablo's Uber chauffeur. Chirino, though, is coming, and he's coming hard. He's done 32s on a reg, and it's the 32 from Koi as well. Snorlax into the pit for his second stop. Matt Psycho, it's done. It's done. I don't think Snorlax, he's got to put maybe medium tyres on, and that's going to be Matt Psycho. He's not pitting again today, I don't believe. Well, he might do, just because of he'll have the gap and the space to do so. Big Dan then hasn't pitted again, but he will be needing to soon, and the Baz as well. So what about Mrs. Guesty? Snorlax has already moved, has he? Has he got there? Yeah, it's just a quick one. He must have used mediums in the first race, because he's gone for another set of soft tyres, but he's behind Chirino, and the homicidal alien is going to be upon him soon. And he is. Snorlax out behind the Hyundai. On another set of softs, but Homesick Alien also on a fresh set of softs. So it's all the same there. He's lost the position there. Shiren, I think he's going to try and make those softs last all the way till the end of the race. Koikap, well, it must be the cooler track, because their tyres seem to do a little bit better, but still got 11 laps to do on them, and they struggled with 14 laps in the first race. So I'm unsure what's going on with the tyres. Bazza and Big Dan, they're going to be losing time hand over fist soon with those tyres. Pretty shoddy as Matt Psycho leaps over the line on lap 21 to start lap 22, and it's the fastest lap. I had a feeling he was going to come out of the pits and absolutely trounce it. Koikap then, he's got more rubber on his car, so he's staying out to move up into second place. And Chirino, where's the alien? I thought the alien's just posted the fastest lap of the race, and that doesn't help Snorlax's case as he's chasing him down. And Chirino 32.0, only a tenth off of that fastest lap, and he is closing in on Koi. Koi doing a 33.5 last time around, and he's struggling with that tyre wear. Biggeth Daneth and the Baz both exiting the pits, and it's so close. Come on, Mrs. Guesty, get around that corner. No, they're going to get out. They're going to get out. Gits, horrible gits, Mrs. Guesty. Well, hopefully they'll wear their tyres out. 10 laps to go. Mrs. Guesty having a sniff at the Baz up the inside, but he's on the fresher rubber, and he keeps hold of it. Big Dan there. Mrs. Guesty. God, I thought, Mrs. Guesty, you could have had him. You could have had him. I thought that one was yours. So Baz and Big Dan, though, they do have to be careful of those tyres. Mrs. Guesty on the mediums, going all the way to the end, and she barely uses tyres up. So they've got to be aware that the Mitsubishi could be a huge threat. Snorlax, meanwhile, has found himself behind Homesick Alien and Shiren. Koikap, he's on a two-stopper. Shiren is all up and in his business. Chirino going for a move around the outside. Oh, Chirino did the job. Look at that, racing soft tyres versus an old set of racing soft tyres, and Chirino makes it look absolutely effortless. But Koi is fighting back, not one to rest on his laurels. He fancies it. He's having a look at that big space, but he'd have to be on, he'd need a pat brake in front of him for that. That's a callback from ages ago. So, Homesick Alien then. Holy schmoly, what's happened there? Oh dear, you've knocked everything off. The wife's trashing the front room right now. She thinks she's like Sid Vicious or something. And Matt Psycho then leads this race, fastest lap. He won the first race. He is going, and he had pole, so he is going for all of it. He's going for all the points available to really stuff it down the fiery finish throat of Haza. And Shiren looking like he's turned this into a lovely second place if he can keep his tyres there. And as it's getting later and later, the track is getting cooler. It's looking quite healthy for him. Homesick Alien closing in on Koi, who managed a 34.9 last time. His tyres are sloppy. Is he going to try and go to the E? He's just going to lose too much time, but even if he pits, he's going to go past Snorlax and fall into the realms of the Big Dan and Bazza, who has got past well, Mrs. Guesty didn't quite get past Baz, did she? And now she's hoping that them two destroy their tyres like the Mazda does. And Pat then, after his pit stop, is back out again and chasing down. Oh, he's quite a way behind Mrs. Guesty for some reason. So, Koi under threat from Homesick Alien. Koi, I mean, well, I'm not telling you how to do your race, but I don't think you're going to get to the end on those tyres, so you may as well pit earlier rather than later. Because staying out on them, doing 30, nearly 31, 35s is not helping you out at all with the battle with Big Dan and Bazza behind you. So Koi, we've got to assume he's going to come into the pits on this one. He's thinking about it. He's thinking about it. He's staying over that side. And he's into the pits. Homesick getting the toe for the very last second he can without following him into the pits. And he can see Shirino, those tyres. But although Shirino, did he not look after his tyres extremely well in that first race, I believe? And Snorlax is in the shout as well. Look at the battle for the podium here. Lined up. We've got the Beamer, the Hyundai, and the Lexus. Absolutely nose to tail, virtually. Biggest Danath next down the road in 5th place. Koi car back out ahead of the Baz. Looks like Koi has turned this one around because he was behind both. And he is behind Big Dan and the Baz. Baz, though, only just. And Koi is going to set to do battle against the Belgian Bullet. Koi has gone to another set of soft tyres, so he must have used mediums in the first race or at some point. Mrs. Guesty there seeing all these two stoppers coming out ahead of her. That's not part of the plan. She must be absolutely seething in that Mitsubishi. A solid plan. And look, they were all just in front of her. How annoying. And Pat's race has definitely not gone to his plan. But Matt Psycho, he couldn't have planned it better. Everyone two stopped around him. Shiren and Homesick Alien are absolutely miles away. No threat whatsoever. The only threat he did have is Snorlax, and he went to a two-stop as well, or he was on a two-stop. So Matt Psycho absolutely breezing it. We're on lap 26 of 32, and unless he does something ridiculous, this one is definitely looking like a slam dunk for the Peugeot. Another Peugeot win to add to it. All the other wins they've had this season. I predict a riot. No, I predict season 2. I don't think the Peugeot are going to be invited back. I think it'll get nerfed. Family car. Where are you fitting them kids in the back of that anyway? It's a 2-door. It said family car. That is a 2-door coupe. But Matt Psycho, anyway. But I mean, Matt Psycho, he must openly admit or say that the Peugeot is a little bit... He's better, obviously. I'm not taking anything away from the mad skills of the man. But the Peugeot has helped tremendously. Shiren in the BMW then, staying ahead of Homesick, but Homesick has closed that gap, as has Snorlax. What a cracker. What a cracker for the podium that's building up here near the end. Shiren is trying to stay to the inside there, not giving the alien. But Homesick still wants to go down the inside. And he is doing. My God, hang on. Oh, and it all goes a bit pear-shaped at the bottom of the hill. But Shiren still stays. No, yeah, Shiren still stays in second. Homesick in third. And Snorlax there in fourth. Matt Psycho saying, don't think anyone else wanted to drive it. No, I know. Oh, everyone had free choice. There's still one Peugeot never got chosen. Because it's you could choose 3. Wow, there we go, more. And I think, is Shiren just Shirino driving it too much? Or has them tyres gone? Because Homesick Alien scooped that one up, and it's looked a little sloppy from Shirino the last few corners, but Snorlax looking extremely strong in the Lexus come the end of the race. And I think the Hyundais are really going to have to do a lot to keep the Lexus behind, because the Lexus looking mighty meaty Lexus in the hands of Snorlax. And yeah, Shiren's tyres, I think they've gone. There's still a lot of white there, but next to the cars he's racing, he's just squealing around every single corner. Biggest Daneth doing a sturdy job there. You got the Baz and Koi locked in battle further down for 6th and 7th. This is good news for Mrs. Guesty, because she needs them to tear their tyres apart. Although we're on lap 27 of 32, and I think the time of tearing tyres is gone. This one's just a nice gentle cruise all the way till the end of the race. But the Baz has to defend like a lion, although Quick Up just edging the side of the road there and mowing a bit of Brazilian lawn. He's giving it a Brazilian, darling. Mrs. Guesty, I don't want to say a Brazilian and Mrs. Guesty in the same sentence, so we'll move on to Pat. I'll ask Mr. Guesty later. So Matt Psycho leads from Snorlax. He's got himself ahead of the alien, has he not? Or was he already? No, he has. He's got himself ahead of the alien. I'm not reversing, dudes. We've got a lot of laps still to do, and it's coming up to nearly 10:30 at night. So yes, we're sticking with what we've got. So Snorlax absolutely pumping it out. He's on it. Interlagos is definitely something he enjoys. Homesick Alien then chasing him down with Shiren still in the fight, but the tyres slowly going away from him. Big Daneth in 5th with the Baz in 6th. Koi Carp fighting with the Baz. And then we have Mrs. Guesty in 8th place, waiting for the boys ahead to destroy their tyres. Oh, the Baz looks like he's off the road. The Baz and the Koi. Baz meeting the grass. Again, another Brazilian was given. And Mrs. Guesty is closing in. Mike in the chat saying, evening virtual racers. Hope you are all doing well. Doing super, thank you. Super, thanks for asking. So Matt Psycho leads the way from Snorlax and Homesick Alien. Unbelievable. Sharing paint on their doors. Oh, Snorlax looked like he got a little awkward move over the curb there, and Homesick Alien slides on through and takes that 2nd place. But this battle is going to be raging all the way up to the flappy bit of fabric we call the checkered flag. And Homesick Alien at the moment 2nd place. And the tyres are virtually the same between the two drivers. It's Lexus versus Hyundai. And the Beamer, his tyres are dead, but he's going to try and get in there. And Matt Psycho saying, cracking battle. Was it ever? Oh, Pat getting right out the way there. He's off the track. He couldn't get any further off the track. And Homesick Alien and Snorlax Sharen cracking on. Great battling. Matt Psycho leads. He's on lap 30 of 32. Tyres look good. Fuel looks good. He looks good. Looking good. Look in the mirror. Yeah, look at you. You look like a champion, Matt Psycho. Homesick Alien in second. Snorlax in third. Legendary status for Snorlax right now with this race. He's elevated himself. He's made his worth tenfold. Sharen, he's going to be recruited, Snorlax. There'll be other racing teams out there looking at Snorlax thinking, hey, do you want to come and join the SNL? Sharen then in fourth place with Big Dan in fifth. Koikap in sixth. Bazza in seventh. There he is. Cameraman, wake up. Mrs. Guesty in eighth. It didn't come for her, did it? It didn't come to her. But, oh, it could have done. It could have done. Pat in ninth. Look at it. It's threatening to get dark all the way. I think they don't let it go dark now because of me. Look, I've had my paddy about it being dark. If you want to do dark races, do dark races. Don't worry about what I say. I say half the sugar that I say for humour and giggles. I don't care if it's dark. I did care that one time when there was a huge pile up and I couldn't see anything. But other than that, don't crash in the dark. And we'll be fine. So, and Matt Psycho, I don't even know if it gets dark at Brazil. This might be as good as it gets. As dark as it gets here. Homesick Alien, he's pulled away a little bit now from Snorlax. I think Snorlax's tyres are short. And now, does Sharen get a shot at a podium here? Snorlax, all that hard work he's put in this race. And it looks like the Lexus is killing yet again another set of Michis. Or Michelins. In case you didn't hear that clearly. Sharino. Fuel started flashing, but we've only got a lap and a bit to go. Big Dan, solid in fifth, with Koikap in sixth, saying goodbye to the Baz, who is now lapping Pat, sorry. Pat slowed down to let the whole field through. Pat not having fun at Interlagos. I'm not thinking it's his track. So Matt Psycho then up the hill to begin the final lap. And it was easy for him, really. As soon as Snorlax made that early pit stop, there was no one troubling the Peugeot for the rest of this race. He's got the fastest lap so far. And I don't think there's anyone there to contest it. No one's in a position where they can pit and get back out ahead of anyone else. Homesick Alien then. Hasn't quite started the final lap like Matt Psycho. His fuel's flashing as he comes up the hill, but there's plenty of fuel in there to get to the end. And I just don't think Sharen has got the tyres to go and attack Snorlax. Big Dan doing fine. Ahead of Koi, although Koi isn't as far back as you'd think it was from Big Dan, but with one lap to go. Now Baz is a concern. His tyres starting to look pretty battered. And Mrs. Guesty, though, a little too far back to make anything out of that one in the final lap. And Pat, I imagine, just can't wait for this race to be over. It started so well for Pat, though. Great first 4 or 5 laps, leading the race solidly, and pulled away from him a little bit as well. So here comes a Matt Psycho then through the last sector. And starting his ascent up the hill to the checkered flag for yet again another win of the season. Great stuff from the Peugeot driver, Matt Psycho. He did it all. He did it all. He got pole, 2 wins, and the fastest lap. Congratulations. Well done. Legend. Homesick Alien grabs that second place in the end. Oh, and Sharen got ahead of Snorlax. They're battling it out for the endo. Homesick Alien comes up the hill, but we'll keep an eye on these two. Sharen sneaking one on Snorlax, but Snorlax on the grass, and it's Homesick Alien that comes up and grabs himself second place here at Interlagos. Great drive from the Homicidal Alien. Brilliant. Beautiful. And it's Shirino that takes a boo for third, and Snorlax in fourth. Unfair for Snorlax, but everyone's got to finish somewhere. But Snorlax had a cracker of a race, didn't he? It has to be said. Biggeth Daneth coming up towards the line. Great drive for fifth place. Cracking stuff. Good points. Top Mazda driver in the feature. Koikarp coming home for sixth. And the Baz are in seventh. They really weren't that far apart, were they? If you think about it. Pat finishing in ninth with the elegant, graceful Mrs. Guesty bringing her Mitsubishi up the hill to finish in 8th place. Oh, it could have been, though. That one stop was a good call. It's just they didn't ruin their tyres in that second half of the race. So, Matt Psycho on his one stop, easily winning the race there. No one contesting it with him. And Matt Psycho also saying in the chat, nice one, Thingy. No problem. Homesick Alien, great drive there to get second place in the Hyundai, with Sharen scooping up that podium right near the end there with the Lexus and Snorlax combo, killing yet again another set of tyres. Biggeth Daneth in 5th place, with Koikarp bringing the other Mazda home in 6th, and the third Mazda of Bazers in 7th. Mrs. Guesty crossing the line in 8th, and Pat having an absolute nightmare. Great stuff. Great stuff. So in the chat then, we have Mama Syke saying, congrats, Matthew. Well done. Some super racing guys. Once again, thanks, Thingy. That's my pleasure. Trust me. And then we have Homicidal Alien saying, cheers, bud, with a thumbs up. I'm sure I'll see him on Boxing Day and he'll be asking, what the hell was Homicidal Alien all about? And I'll say, I don't know. I don't know really where it came from. It just popped into my head and I couldn't get rid of it. It's like Shirino, that makes sense because it's Brazil. But the alien thing, I can't explain it. So, I was your broadcaster. Look at me wrapping it up already. I'm not messing about, you know. I'm not hanging around. We've done here. We had fun. I'm going to get out while I can. So, I was your broadcaster and your commentator, Anita Dick. Thank you for joining us here at the Virtual Racers Club. And don't forget to join us tomorrow for the final round. It's the final show. What was the final countdown? That makes no sense. It's the showdown. Will Haza show up? Will he be yellow-bellied? And a yellow-bellied Finnish driver going to show his face around these parts to take on the mighty Matt Psycho? You'll have to tune in tomorrow live from the VRC. I bring you round 10 of the Stcc 1. It's going to be cracking. Nothing's in the Discord for any racing, so tomorrow we may be saying goodbyes, Merry Christmases and New Year's and such what, because I don't see anything planned. And why not? I think the admin of the VRC deserve a break. They deserve a little holiday. They've done a lot this year, and it's been a tough one. So, God damn it, they can have Christmas off. But in the new year, we've got to be busy, man. We've got to do some real major racing to catch up. Okie dokie, that's it. So I was your broadcast commentator, Anita Dick. Thank you for joining us here at the Virtual Racers Club. Please come again. Peace and love. Peace and love.